What a night! What a night! The morning after. Look! 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 Listen, first I want to say what a fantastic night. What a fantastic card. We're going to be talking about the card itself, reviewing the fights. We're going to show some highlights. We're going to talk about what's next, all right? But first and foremost, I got to talk about this community. Over 530,000 views on that live stream last night. On our fight night, our live commentary, you guys showed up by the droves, okay? So I'm going to tell you, nobody can tell me
not a damn thing
about this community. That boxing card, Riyadh season, was a card for true boxing fans, and you guys showed up like that. I want to say this too. It's going to be very difficult for you guys or for anyone to say that Terrence Bud Crawford isn't a star in boxing. That night, the show out, full of celebrities, full of stars, and it was packed to the house. And I'm sure with this live stream and our fight night, our live commentary doing so well, I'm pretty sure the pay-per-views did well as well. So now, let's talk about the actual fight card. And let's talk about a few fights. We're in the zone war room.
We're in the zone war room.
He throws straight right hands to the gut and then jabs with their power jabs, bending his knees.
Listen, you guys know that I'm very high on Andy Cruz. But I must say, after his performance last night, I was a little disappointed. And I know he knocked him out. He knocked out Moran, and he had to. He had to. Listen, I said that last night. He had to win by KO. Boy, to be a part of the discussion with those boys, Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin the American Dream Haney, who knocked out Moran in the knockout of the year.
Now Haney's got that fire in his eyes. I won!
Andy Cruz had to knock him out. And Andy Cruz did it in the 7th round. So good. But here's the two reasons why I was disappointed. Number one, Andy Cruz felt, and his team felt, that the right hand was how you should demolish or approach the Moran fight. And Andy Cruz, damn it, he spammed it. He threw it over and over again, and he finally nailed him with it. And I think Andy Cruz and company, I think their idea was, since Devin the American Dream Haney knocked out Moran with a right hand, that's how you knock out Moran. That's what I think. But if you look at that Devin Haney knockout, Devin Haney hid his right hand behind his back like he was transforming, right? He looked like Optimus Prime transforming into his truck. Nobody could have seen that right hand. And it's not that Moran is susceptible to the right hand. It's just how Devin the American Dream Haney delivered it. But at the end of the day, Andy Cruz and company proved to be right, knocking out Moran with the right hand. Here's another thing. Andy Cruz's durability. Twice I saw Andy Cruz on Bambi legs against Moran. So it just made me say, okay, I think he's very good. I think he arguably could be considered special with that amateur background, how well he fights, and his team. But let me slow up on this whole Gervonta Tank Davis talk. Let me slow up. Or, you know, he'll beat Shakur Stevenson. Like, let me slow up on all that. I saw what happened last night. Now, let's talk about this. To me, the performance of the night. Bacoli versus Big Baby Jared Anderson. Back to Jogas Espresso. You know, the number one, Bacoli beat Jared Anderson with his feet together, standing straight up. I mean, it looked like a walk in the park. And I joked about it all last night. I'm like, the guy looked like he had a pint of Crown that he had to get back to. The guy beat him so relaxed. It was incredible. And the two things I want to take from that. Number one, Jared Anderson and how well he took the loss. Okay, Jared Anderson obviously wasn't on the level of Bacoli. Okay, like he said, he had too many holes in his game. But how well he took the loss, that was beautiful. Jared Anderson, it looks like he's going to bounce back. And when you get that ass whipping like that, hey, you can only bounce back stronger. And I think Jared Anderson possessed the athleticism to bounce back stronger. He has to make sure that he's dedicated. And when you get an ass whipping like that, you can't help but to be dedicated. Either that or just quit. All right. So I think Jared Anderson has enough pride. And you saw, Bacoli had to beat the hell out of him, right? Jared Anderson screamed the F word and afterwards and everything. Like, he got pride. So I think he's going to come back better. He was talking about, going home to see his baby and stuff like that. So he has his inspiration, his motivations, and I think he's going to use it. The second thing that jumps out with this fight is actually after the fight, Bacoli's dance was just diabolical. Diabolical. Okay, now let's talk the matchup of the night, Pitbull versus El Rayo. He beat him. He just beat him. Good fight, though. Good fight. Pitbull, he also took it very well. But El Rayo beat him. Pitbull had these big fat punches that make you say ooh and ah, but El Rayo blocked a lot of that shit, man. And he was just better on all fronts. Better movement, better jab, better approach to the fight. And when they fought and threw combinations, El Rayo beat him there. He landed more power punches. He definitely outboxed him. And the work rate was higher for El Rayo. When Pitbull went after him, he knew how to escape, roll off the ropes and throw combinations and stuff like that. Also, he knew how to attack. And the thing is, there wasn't a moment in that fight when El Rayo wasn't busy. El Rayo was constantly pumping the jab and constantly touching Pitbull Cruz. El Rayo, he put together a fantastic fight. And with El Rayo beating Pitbull, I have lost the steam for Gervonta Tank Davis versus Pitbull. Now, of course, I would like to see Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. You guys were absolutely right when you guys did the polls there. I mean, over 80% said you preferred Gervonta versus Shakur. But on top of that, if the Gervonta versus Shakur fight falls through, Gervonta versus El Rayo, I think, would be exciting. It would make sense since people wanted Pitbull versus Tank. And with El Rayo beating Pitbull and Tank beating Pitbull, they should fight each other. Oh, side note, the real Big Baby. Big Baby Miller was robbed against Andy Ruiz. He was robbed. Big Baby, they said it was a draw. Big Baby Miller was busier. He was robbed. All right. I mean, he was going after him. I mean, Andy Ruiz tried to get out of there. He couldn't. And my only thing is, and I'm waiting on this, man, Big Baby Miller did not even break a sweat. He was busy as hell. There wasn't a moment when he wasn't busy. Over 12 rounds, he's 300 pounds, and he didn't break a sweat. Hey, listen, man, I was, not to be diabolical, but I would love to see the results of his drug test. Seriously, the guy didn't break it. Not to say that he's going to pop. I'm just saying, I just need, with his history, right? There's no way I'm insane for just, with his history, just wondering, after that kind of performance, not getting tired over 12 rounds and being as busy as he was, having the chin that he had, just walking down Andy Ruiz, and he does have a chin, but holy shnikes, okay, walking him down. I mean, the guy looked like a pure juggernaut out there, and I just need to know, if he did that natural, then he is a threat, a serious threat in heavyweight division. But before I say that, I just got to make sure that he passed everything. Every test. All right. So now let's talk about the fight of the night, the main event, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Madrimov. For anyone to say that Madrimov beat Terrence Bud Crawford, I just don't agree. I think Terrence Bud Crawford won that fight 8-4. All right. If you wanted closer, okay, 7-5, whatever. The better fighter was Terrence Bud Crawford, and he should be champion as he is. Terrence Crawford showed a lot to me. All right, I was impressed, actually. I was impressed by his durability, his chin, all right? I was also impressed by just still reminded on how much of a warrior he is when it comes to fighting, right? Madrimov was a bigger puncher than him. Madrimov is a great athlete, and Madrimov was showing deceptively fast hands, and he was He was just throwing some fire out there. And if he got a punch off for Terrence Bud Crawford, he was going to outfight Terrence. So, you know, you look at the Madrimov fight and his approach, and you say maybe he was a little too conservative, boxing too much, but that's because Terrence Bud Crawford convinced him to be. Terrence Bud Crawford's hand speed, IQ, distance, reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and pop all together made Madrimov say, I have to be careful. And then being careful, when Terrence Bud Crawford convinced him to be careful, it allowed Terrence Bud Crawford to do the things that he needed to do to keep the fight where he wanted to be. Because I tell you this, if Madrimov had no respect for Terrence Bud Crawford, he could have knocked him out. If he turned it up and had no respect for him, he could have knocked him out. And it's very easy to tell him to have less respect from the couch. So we're not taking the punches he was taking, okay? With that said, I'm going to tell you who won't have respect for him, and that's Saul Canelo Alvarez at 168. I didn't see it before. I liked the fight, you know, more. Over time, I liked it more, but I never saw Terrence Crawford beating Canelo. And Canelo's going to walk through Terrence. Terrence Crawford does a SWAT near hard, not Triple G, Kovalev, not even Bivol. All right? So not near enough. If you look at Canelo versus Bivol, the kind of guy it takes to beat Canelo, Terrence Crawford is just too small. He's just too small. And you saw how Madrimov was bruising Terrence Bud Crawford. He was feeling some things. And listen, Canelo Alvarez, his pop, his IQ, his abilities, his confidence, how he's going to walk down Terrence. Listen, bro. And there's some people who are concerned that Terrence Crawford may have looked a little bit more aged last night. Even Terrence Crawford's energy about Canelo was a bit down in the post-fight. He was just like, yeah, let me just take it easy, go back to my family, stuff like that. Listen, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, he said that he sent the offer to Canelo Alvarez.
I give him the offer. If he's smart, he will accept it.
And if Canelo was thinking about it a little bit, he'll probably definitely accept it now. That's what, after watching that fight, he's even more confident. And listen, Turki Al-Sheikh said that Canelo Alvarez would be crazy to turn that down. So that means he was talking about big bucks. So quite arguably, we're talking about big bucks for an easy night for Canelo Alvarez. Seriously, Terrence Bud Crawford is an all-time great fighter, but to fight at 168 against another all-time great fighter, Canelo Alvarez, especially the kind of style Canelo, you know, it's hard to put anything past Terrence Bud Crawford because he's one of the greatest fighters to ever live. But that Canelo Alvarez is also one of the greatest fighters to ever live. Terrence Crawford, I think he wasn't sounding as confident after the fight, and I get it, okay? But the money is there. The money is there. It seems. And I think I got Canelo Alvarez even more now than before. Now, let's talk about this for a quick second. Turki Al-Sheikh was talking about how he wanted Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda, and that everyone agreed. Now, we know what Eddie Hearn had to say when it was like, if, you know, Shakur Stevenson signed it with Eddie Hearn. Look, signing with Eddie Hearn cannot make that deal with Gervonta Tank Davis.
I don't want to say officially working on his behalf, because we're not, but we're instructed to have certain conversations around fights for him, of which is an honour. One of those is not Gervonta Davis, and I think that's a smart move. I think,
but don't worry. I know there's a lot of you like, I told you Shakur. Don't worry, because Eddie Hearn said this.
2 more questions, right? Shakur's here. Have you spoke to him, and will you speak to him?
Yes, yes.
Is there a chance by the end of this we could have a little bit of a press release from Matchroom saying that Shakur Stevenson will sign with Matchroom and there might be a little press conference in New York sometime soon?
No.
If you work with him, will it be on a fight-by-fight basis?
Okay, who knows?
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. The WBC mandated Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson has to keep his belt. Without his belt, he doesn't have a lot of arguments as far as pay-per-view sales and big name and all those things. He doesn't have a lot of tangible arguments there. So he has to remain champion at 135. He's been mandated to fight Zepeda. They already had purse bids. Like WBC, they're forcing it. All right? If he can't make a deal with Gervonta in time by the end of this month, bro, he's going to have to fight Zepeda. All right, he has to. All right. So what I don't want is when you put all this together to say, okay, Shakur's definitely ducked. He's not ducking anybody. He's not ducking anybody at this point. You know, it looks like Gervonta and Shakur Stevenson, their negotiation kind of stalled. I'll tell you this. I would probably yell duck if Shakur Stevenson signs a big long-term deal with Eddie Hearn, because that way he has closed the door on any possible fight with Gervonta Tank. If it's a 1 to 2 fight deal or something like that for Zepeda or something with Eddie Hearn, then I would be, you know, more conservative on throwing out duck. But if he signs a big deal, like a big multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, then he's closed the door on Gervonta Tank Davis, and he has made his decision. Now, the funny thing is him and Lomachenko going back and forth.
In there, nigga. In there. Me and you. Let's go. Why you don't want to fight me? Let's go right now. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Lovely. You're lovely, bro. No, man. No, you can't. You can't.
And that's funny because it looked like a promo to me. So if he signs a deal with Eddie Hearn, all right, and you know Eddie Hearn has no problem making deals with Bob Arum, and you have His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, it'll be a very easy fight to kind of make with Lomachenko and Shakur. Lomachenko said he's not fighting Gervonta. He's not fighting Gervonta. I think they may have went back to their original plan, and it feels like a promo a bit. It felt real promo-esque. I think Shakur Stevenson, there may be a 2-3 fight deal with this deal with Eddie Hearn. Shakur Stevenson will probably take on Zepeda. Then after that, Lomachenko. But what a fantastic night. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. It was legendary. And what you guys did to support this channel, even greater. Listen, tomorrow I will be with the PBC doing the press conference for that Canelo Alvarez and Berlanga fight. And I will be giving away the autograph Canelo boxing glove. It just hasn't come in yet. So we'll talk about that hopefully by tomorrow. ShowBizz the Adult. I'm out.